My name is Aliyah. I am 27 years old. I live in a small city with big dreams in my heart. When I was a child, I believed in love. I believed in happy endings. But now, my heart is tired. This is my real story. I got married 3 years ago. My husband's name is Samir. He was tall, quiet, and handsome. Everyone in my family said I was lucky to marry him, but I was not lucky. At first, I tried to be a good wife. I cooked food, kept the house clean, and waited for him every night. I thought maybe one day he would see me. Maybe he would love me. But Samir never looked at me with love. His eyes were always cold. He never said I looked beautiful. He never held my hand. At night, he turned his back on me. No kiss, no warmth, no smile. I was unsatisfied, not just in my body, but in my soul. I asked him many times, Samir, do you love me? He said, you're my wife. That is enough. But it was not enough. I needed love. I needed a hug. I needed his voice to say, I miss you. One night, I cried alone in the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. My face was pale. My eyes were tired. I asked myself, why doesn't he want me? I gave him everything, but he gave me nothing. The house was full of silence. No laughter, no music, just cold air between us. I tried to talk to him again. Samir, please, am I not good enough? He said, stop asking these stupid questions. That night, something inside me broke. I slept alone again. I dreamed of running. I dreamed of someone who looked at me with kind eyes, someone who saw my soul. And then that dream became real. One rainy evening, I went to a bookstore. I wanted to hide from the pain. I wanted to feel less alone. There I met him. His name was Armin. He had soft brown eyes and a quiet smile. He saw the sadness in my face. He didn't ask too much. He only said, do you want to sit and talk? We sat in the corner of the store. I told him about the books I loved. I told him I liked old poems and rainy days. He listened, really listened. Nobody had listened to me for years. He didn't touch me. He didn't flirt. He just smiled and said, your heart is beautiful. Those words made me cry. The next day, he waited for me again. He brought a coffee. He said, for the girl who loves poetry. And I smiled for the first time in a long time. Armin and I met often. We talked in the cafe. We laughed like two teenagers. My heart started to wake up again. He never asked about my husband. He only said, you deserve to be seen. I tried to stay away. I told myself it was wrong. But my heart was hungry. Not for his body, but for the feeling of being wanted. He sent me poems at night. He wrote, you are not invisible. Your tears have meaning. You are not alone. And I cried again. One day, he touched my hand. Just for a second. But that second felt like forever. He said, Aliyah, you deserve a life that doesn't hurt. I didn't reply. My heart was loud. My lips were quiet. At home, Samir did not notice anything. He came late, ate his food, slept without saying a word. I looked at him and felt like a ghost. I was married to a shadow, but I still felt guilty. I thought, am I cheating? Am I bad? Then I remembered how I begged him for love, how I cried in the bathroom, how I waited every night. And I whispered, no, I am not bad. I am human. I need love too. One morning, I found a message from Armin. Meet me one last time. I need to say something. I was scared, but I went. We met at the park, under the old tree. His eyes were serious. He said, Aliyah, I'm leaving the city, but I need you to know. I love you. not for your beauty, but for your soul. My eyes filled with tears. He continued, you don't have to choose me, but please choose yourself. Choose a life where you feel alive. And then he left. I stood there. The wind blew through my hair. My heart broke, but it also woke up. That night, I went home. I looked at Samir. He didn't even ask where I was. I packed a small bag. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew one thing. I wanted more than just a ring. I wanted love. I wanted life. And so I stepped out of the house, into the night, into the unknown. I left the house that night. I didn't look back. I had no plan. I had no idea where to go. I only knew one thing. I wanted to feel alive. I took a bus to another city. I stayed with an old college friend. Her name was Mihir. She was kind, funny, and strong. She hugged me tight and said, "You are safe now." Those words felt like home. I cried in her arms. I told her everything. About Samir, about the silence, about Armin, about my pain. She didn't judge me. She just said, "You are not weak, Elia. You are brave." For the first time in years, I started to believe it. Life was not easy. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money, but I had peace. I started working at a small library. I helped children read. Their laughter was like music to my heart. I smiled more. I ate better. I slept without tears. Every day I wrote in a journal, "Dear Alia, you are learning. You are healing. You are not broken." Some nights I thought about Armin, his voice, his poems, his goodbye. One day Samir called. He said, "Come home. Stop acting crazy." I said, "No." He was silent. I said, "You never loved me." And I forgot how to love myself. But now I remember. He tried to argue, but I didn't cry this time. I was strong. We had a simple divorce. No fights, no drama. Just silence. The same silence we always had. But this time, the silence gave me peace. One cold morning, Meher gave me a letter. She said, "Someone left this for you at the library." I opened it slowly. It was from Armin. "Dear Alia, I left because I loved you too much. I didn't want to ruin your world, but I think of you every day. I don't know if you still feel the same, but if you ever want to see me again, I'll be waiting at the old bookstore on your birthday." My heart started beating fast. My birthday was tomorrow. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking, should I go? Should I face him? What if he had moved on? What if he didn't come? But I knew, even if he didn't show up, I needed to say goodbye. I wore a simple dress. I walked to the old bookstore. It was raining, just like the first time we met. I stood by the door. My hands were shaking. And then I saw him. Armin. He was sitting in the same corner, reading a book, waiting. When he saw me, he stood up. His eyes were full of tears. He said, "Alia." I said nothing. I just walked to him. I hugged him tight. We didn't talk for 5 minutes. We just held each other. And in that silence, everything was said. We went for coffee. He looked at me and said, "You came." I said, "I never stopped loving you." He smiled and said, "I never stopped waiting." He told me he had moved back to the city. He was working at a school, writing poems for children. We talked for hours. We didn't rush. We didn't make promises. We just loved, slowly, softly, deeply. 1 year later, we had a small wedding. Just 10 people, flowers, music, smiles. No gold, no noise, just love. Real love. He kissed my forehead and said, This time, your tears will be only for joy. And I believed him. Now I wake up every day with his arms around me. He still writes poems. I still work at the library. We still drink coffee in the bookstore. But now my heart is full. I'm no longer the woman who begged for love. I'm the woman who walked away and found it. So if you are watching this and you feel unloved, unseen, broken, please remember you are not hard to love. You just need the right heart. And it starts with your own. Thank you for listening to my story. This was not just about a man. This was about finding myself